Tonight's exercise, we're going to be doing a hand-tied bouquet. And what I have staged here is everything that you're going to need for this particular floral design. I have 3s and 3s. You also will have a recipe that you will find in lessons in Blackboard with a list and also a review of the instructions and things we're doing today. So the first thing I'm going to be doing, the easiest way to do this is that we're going to use your hand your hand's going to end up being your holder. You're going to use your thumb and middle finger or forefinger to create a circle. And it's in this you're going to be putting your floral stems. Now, I have everything ready to go. I am going to trim off some of the greenery. So we're going to make a mess here. And I've lost my bunch cutters. They're somewhere. So we're going to just trim off the lower branches of here. And that's the only thing I didn't have ready was trimming these off. And that's good. Those are going to be the first things I put in, is my greenery. I'm also going to be using some leather leaf, and I don't want real big pieces, so I'm going to trim off the lower ones of these and get those ready. And I'm only using like 3. That's going to give me a good base to make my basis for the whole bouquet. We're just going to put those over there. Okay, so I have my hand like this, and I'm literally going to put you can see, just put this in here. I'm going to trim a little more off than that. Just have that right in the center. I'm going to add this other one. You're going to cross the stems as you go. And when you're using 3, you're basically making a triangle, and I'm not too worried about that. That's going to get clipped off. So it's kind of random. Everybody loves these hand-tied bouquets because they're so natural. And for extra color, I'm going to add in a darker green. Again, you're filling in between the stems, just sticking them in your fingers. You might find that a little bulky, but I'm going to teach you another way as well. I'll just quickly walk through one. So that's the basis for your bouquet so far. You can see it's just round. Now, the most exciting thing is you're going to use your line flowers, and this is fabulous. I'm going to take 1 second. Okay, what we're going to do, this is larkspur. It's one of the line flowers I really like using. Comes in white and blue and pink. It's a relative of the delphinium. You're going to use it as a line. And I save these little pieces off to the side because they just add some interest. But what I want to use is this part. So you're going to take all these foliage off. This stem I'm going to keep to make this bridal bouquet really full. So this guy's going to go right in the center because he's going to really give me, this is a free-form hand-tied bridal bouquet. Also, you'll notice I've left all the stems long. Better to leave them long and cut them when you're finished than to cut them too short. So, I also like using odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, and 7 is more pleasing to the eye. And let's see, I think we've got that. Trim this off. I'm so used to doing this, I've done these one-handed all the time. If I was doing a wedding, I'd have these in a mason jar or a vase just until I was ready to put it together. So I'm going to poke this in the fingers. You can see the stems are kind of spreading out. You want that. And then we're going to add one more. And to save time, I'm just going to cut that center. You want to make sure there's no foliage on the stems. That gets in the way of your design. So you make sure you pull all of those things off. And you don't want a bunch of stuff down here where the those stems could be exposed. So you add your third one. Just find a place you can just see where it will fit in. So you got your 3 like that. Now, I happen to think these Gerbers are great, and I hadn't decided if I wanted 1 or 3. So we're going to put 1 right in the center. And I think maybe we'll make that kind of our focal flower, and I can decide what to do with those others. Next, I'm going to add my roses. And what you do is, as you're looking, see where you want that. And I might add him just off to the side. One there. One there. And now I'm just adding, instead of going in through the center, I'm adding to the outside so that you have a ring. Like that. Next, to take up some space, I'm going to use these pretty little spray roses and poke those in. I'm going to actually poke those in between the pink and the white. So you get that. And again, you want to have your foliage off the stems. These are my favorite bouquets to do because they're so gardeny and free form. So I love that about them. So, and again, it's just 3 and 3. On your lesson plan, it has all these directions and a reminder, so you'll be able to recreate this. And also in the lesson, I did not put colors because I figured that way you could design your own. Now, for the daisies, these are really kind of full. I'm going to pull some of these lower branches off. Sometimes you're lucky enough and you've got a nice long stem. These are kind of bunchy, so they're going to be real weighty, and I'm going to put them down low in the arrangement. You know, to kind of fill in like that. And do the same with these other two. You can see it doesn't take too long to do it. Could have saved a little time having that done. And again, we're going to walk around and see where I need it. That needs the spot there. And then I'm going to have one more in the back. The thing you have to watch about the hand-tied bouquets is not adding so many stems that the bride can't hold it. You don't want to get it too thick. So this one's going to go over here like that. And again, I'll clean off these stems just before I tie it and cut it. We're going to take off to make sure you don't have any messy foliage on here. You're going to cut that like so. So he's gone. And let's see, in my recipe, what else am I needing? Baby eucalyptus, lemon leaf. I didn't get to lemon leaf tips, so we're going to probably just stick with this. I am going to add this filler. You only want a sprig of this. This is just going to add an accent of color in here. This is kind of prickly. So I'm not going to put too much in here because it's also it's a pretty dramatic change. And I said sprig because sometimes a whole stem might have several blooms on it, like that. And then this other one, like so. Clean it off. I'm going to put this one over here. Just poke him in there. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add just a couple more pieces of leather leaf down low like this. Measure it. I'm going to pull off all that foliage at the bottom because I just want this to collar that. Just one. I'm going to add 2 more pieces probably. That makes a total of 5 in this design. Like so. And last but not least, there's a couple different things that you can use. Some people like using floral bulldog tape to secure their bouquets. I've gotten spoiled. I like the covered wire that you can get because you can get it in green, which is what I'm going to use right now. You just want to grab a hank of it. Yeah, maybe I'll add a couple. Just for some movement, I'm going to add a couple of these little funny stems. Just for some interest. Put that one in over there. And one more over here. That adds an extra foliage for you. I think we'll keep these for another arrangement at another time, and we'll just have the single Gerber as your focal flower. And you can turn, if you feel like you've got an empty spot, you can still, doing this arrangement in your hand, you can still move things around. So, here's my covered wire. And you see where my finger is? I'm just going to go around just above that. I'm going to wrap this around a couple times to secure it. And I'm going to lay this down here. And I'm just going to tie, it's just a knot. Not too long a piece. The covered wire is nice because it doesn't slip like some of the threads will, or the tape, so you can go ahead and get a good tight tie. And if you're worried about it securing, you can go around it one more time if you want. So I just do a knot, and at this point, I'm going to check and make sure there's not a lot of foliage on the stems. And you think if you were a bride, that's too long for a bride to carry. So you're going to cut that off. Everything you're going to cut off at an angle and pretty uniform. Just trim it. That's about it. You're just going to do that. You don't have anything real weird looking on there. I have them about uniform. Okay, oops, there we go. Now the neat thing is with these hand-tied bouquets, if they're pretty well balanced, you can actually stand them up. When I'm transporting these, they're done in either mason jars with some buckets of water. You can see that. These just kind of spread out like that. They actually will stand up if you've got the stems trimmed correctly. There we go. Voila. And I don't know if I want to use pink. I think I'm going to use pink ribbon. I usually, McGinley satin, if you put it in the cooler, it will curl up. So what I like to do is I put the ribbon on when I get to the church delivering the bridal bouquet. And all I'm going to do with this is just a simple, I'm just going to wrap it twice. Lay it back down. I'm going around twice. This also secures the hand-tied bouquet. You don't want to have it down low enough that it puts in water. If you're transporting it in a vase or a mason jar, make sure your ribbon's on the outside. And like I said, I'm just going to knot this. And then take and put a couple loops in like you're tying your shoes. The bride's going to see this side. This will be the back of it. And then all you do is just trim those lengths. And good scissors works better than your clippers, but this will do for now. And then you've got your hand-tied bouquet. That's how you do it. Have fun decorating. You pick out line, mass, filler, and greens and create your own. Thanks.